Good afternoon and welcome to Legal Matters. My name is Tulani Mututa, orator for the law, and I'm coming to you live and direct from number 1 Common Kuruma Avenue in Zimbabwe at the Heart and Soul Broadcasting Digital Services Studio. Today is a Wednesday and it is quite chilly in Harare, and we are glad that it is Legal Matters time. And today we have an honorable guest on the show, Mr. Misheck Ugaro, and we're going to be talking about externalization and money laundering. Mr. Ugaro, welcome to Legal Matters. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Tulani. And good afternoon to you and to your viewers. Right, my name, as you rightly said, is Misheck Ugaro. I'm an economist by academics, but
okay.
Sorry for
and when you say by academics, Mr. Ugaro, what exactly do you mean?
my schooling,
Okay.
my education.
All right.
My educational background is economics. I
Okay.
studied economics, but I went on to then major in finance,
All right.
postgrad.
Okay.
So I'm an economist by academics,
Okay.
but I'm a finance person as
Alright.
a profession.
Okay,
So I went
okay.
on to train in finance.
All right. All
Yes.
right. Well, we're definitely keen to hear more about that experience that you got in finance, as today's topic, as I said before, is externalization and money laundering. We are going to be looking at the law on financial crimes. But Mr. Ugaro, before we dive into the topic, before we dive into the law in action, I want us to just get people to understand why exactly we are having this discussion, why exactly it's important for people to understand these terms, externalization, money laundering, so that they also understand the bearing that these financial crimes have on the Zimbabwean economy. So what would you say, Mr. Ugaro, about the topic? What exactly is externalization and money laundering? Just for the general public to understand why we're having this topic before we jump into the law in action.
Thanks, Tulani. Those are two aspects for any country to consider and critically look at for economic development.
Okay.
Externalization and money laundering. They are both criminal
Okay.
activities,
Okay.
actually, because they have negative impact on any economy.
All right.
So I'll try to explain one by one
Alright.
in simple terms,
Okay.
starting with money laundering.
Okay. Okay.
As the name says, laundry is basically washing.
Okay. Yes, because you might find that when it comes to this laundering aspect, you might hear of a common English idiom, dirty hands clean money.
Yes,
So
yes.
now when people are cleaning money, what exactly does it
Yes.
mean?
Basically, it talks to the source of money.
Okay.
So usually the source of money that is being laundered is illegal.
Okay.
So the money is dirty.
Yes.
So it has to be cleaned,
Okay.
which is where the word laundry
Okay.
and laundering and all the derivations come from.
All right.
So a person who has got money illicitly
Okay.
wants to make that money legal.
Okay.
So they, as it were, in simple terms, wash it.
Okay, yes,
So there are many ways that
Okay.
they use to clean the money.
All right.
So this is where the term money laundering
Okay.
is
Okay.
derived from. So they will be washing the money
Okay.
so that it becomes legal.
All right.
So the critical point is that the source of the money is illegal.
Yes.
It's
not
illicit
clean.
money.
Yes.
It's illicit wealth,
Yes.
which
and
is being
just
cleaned.
just to make sure that our viewers understand, by illicit money we mean money that is acquired from, say, maybe criminal enterprises.
Exactly.
Just last week on Legal Matters we were talking about robbery. So say for instance that money has been acquired from robbery.
Yes.
Laundering is now the act of washing that money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not only robberies, but you also find usually criminal activities such as drug dealing,
Okay.
because there's a lot of money that flows
Yes,
in
yes.
that economy.
Yes.
So drug peddling
Yes.
creates a lot of money.
Yes.
And those that will be involved in that activity want to then bring the money onto the
Yes.
formal side, so they try to clean it. So
Okay.
the activities that they will be doing in cleaning that money is what is called money laundering.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just before we move on to externalization, Mr. Ugaro, one thing that was quite topical when I was looking into this issue of externalization and money laundering was ideally the currency system and also the public auction system that we have in Zimbabwe. What exactly is this all about in terms of forex bidding, forex auctioning? Because you cannot possibly be a Zimbabwean and not have seen a newspaper with those words in sequence: public auction bidding system, forex auction bidding system. What exactly is it all about?
Okay, let me give you a background. What you're talking about already touches a bit on externalization.
Okay.
So maybe let me start by explaining what externalization is, which was the second concept which you asked about. So externalization is about taking money out of a country or an economy illegally.
All right.
So I was trying to look for a word. The difference with money laundering is externalization. The source is not necessarily illegal.
Okay.
It might be good money.
Okay.
In an economy, but which is not allowed to go outside.
Yes.
So,
And just to jump in there so that we set the foundation properly for our listeners, why exactly is it a bad thing for people to take money out of the Zimbabwean economy?
Yeah. It is, let me give you an example of a human being.
Yes.
A human being has blood, and if blood drips out of the body, the body does not function well.
Okay.
So externalization is like a body that is dripping. So you lose sweat.
Yes.
And that is water going out of the body, but it's okay.
Yes.
So you're allowed to take money, but when you externalize, you're actually bleeding the economy.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to put it in very simple terms.
Yes.
So eventually you are taking money and let's say at a levels that are beyond what is optimal for the economy.
And thank you very much for painting that picture, because just as a side topic, you would understand why the current president, when he got in power, actually made it a point to ensure that all those people who were externalizing money were brought to the book. So this is why even we're having the show on externalization, so that people get to understand all the facets that push for the survival, or rather the success, of the Zimbabwean economy. And these financial crimes, in essence, really have a bearing on our economy generally. Yes.
They do, yes. So like you say, it was necessary, and it is still necessary to stem that flow. Funds are allowed to go out, and I will then go on to talk about the auction system.
Yes.
Funds are allowed to go out, but there is a bottleneck.
Yes.
So let me now go back to the background I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Which then will take me to the auction system. Historically, a country like Zimbabwe would create foreign currency through exporting its products.
Okay.
But they also need raw materials
Yes.
imported from outside.
Yes.
So we need foreign currency in the country in order to purchase those things that we do not have, or we do not produce. So we need foreign currency to come in through the formal channels, and then it needs to go out correctly through the formal channels. This is so that bottleneck creates the pressure, which then makes people try to circumvent the system by taking money out, not through the formal way, but through externalization. There are various ways of externalizing that people are doing. I can give you one example.
Yes.
A company situated in Zimbabwe could be purchasing, let's say, palm oil from outside the country. Then maybe it's a related entity sending the palm oil here. They would over invoice. So they will pay more than what is required to go out. The money here is is local. It's legal. But the way it is going out is illegal because it is over invoiced.
And resultantly, as an issue of having that money going out through those illegal ways, what we're saying is there will be a shortage in essence.
Exactly.
For the people who want to acquire that forex in essence.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we are sustaining, or we are we are increasing the pressure
Okay.
on the forex that we have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So going to the auction system, which you asked about.
Yes.
The correct term for it, just a small correction,
Yes.
is not a public auction, but it's called the foreign currency auction system.
Okay.
So it was introduced by the Reserve Bank in June 2020.
Okay.
The reason it was introduced was the main reason was price discovery.
Okay.
Because there is a parallel market, which is not based on actual economic fundamentals.
Yes.
It's speculative pricing outside.
Yes.
But what it was doing was our local industry and business was now pricing products using the parallel
market
exchange rate.
Yes.
So it was opaque, it was dim,
Yes.
nobody really knew
Yes.
what the prices were. So the central bank found it prudent to introduce the auction system so that a rate can actually be known transparently
according to the economic values that are in Zimbabwe, according to how much we are trading.
Yes, and how much we're generating in terms of foreign currency and how much we're paying out.
Okay.
So that really worked very well.
Yes.
From when its introduction, we saw the parallel rate almost converging with the auction rate. They were almost close.
Yes.
So the premium that was there between the official
opening,
and the parallel rate was small.
Yes.
That showed that the system was working.
Yes.
And we saw resultantly inflation came down.
Yes.
From almost it peaked at 837%.
Okay.
To when we closed this year, now it's about 60%.
Okay.
So that's a massive achievement.
Yes, it is.
From the results of the auction system.
Yes.
However, towards the end of the year, the parallel rate started jumping again.
It started shooting up, as they may say in the
so
streets.
that premium came back. As we sit now, the parallel rate is almost about 240.
Yes.
And the auction rate is, as of yesterday, 115.
Yes.
So there's almost 100%
difference,
above 100% premium there.
Yes.
Which is a problem.
Yes.
But that talks to another subject.
Yes.
Going back to our topic, which is externalization.
Yes.
What then this causes is that the pricing of goods and services in the country becomes a problem.
Yes.
Inflation is what we all feel.
Yes.
When the business is priced, they price to restock.
Yes.
So they price at their expected future exchange rate.
Okay.
So that way, despite that the inflation has come down, the expectations given the parallel rate, which is now at 240, would be that prices will be going up.
Yes.
So you find that prices start creeping up.
Yes.
So that's the problem.
Thank you so much, really, for bringing out the nexus between externalization and the shortage of forex in the country. And the inflation and what exactly happens now with regards to the pricing in the supermarkets, with regards to how exactly each and every Zimbabwean will ultimately feel the pinch. So listeners, that is exactly what we're talking about today on Legal Matters, externalization and money laundering. So we'll just take a short break and come back and discuss more on the issue of these financial crimes and outlay how exactly they have a bearing with the economy, and also discuss the responsible institution that polices these crimes, which is the Financial Intelligence Unit, which is housed within the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe and acts under the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. So stay tuned to Heart and Soul Broadcasting Services, where we communicate for change and communicate about change. And today on Legal Matters, we are communicating about money matters. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.
Wouldn't you like to know when you're about to die? For every jog or walk, you add 1 year to your life expectancy. And for every cough or sneeze, you subtract 1 year from your life expectancy. You can forget all of that non-repatriation and funeral plan. From 79 rands per month, And you can get cover of up to 30,000 rands to anywhere in Zimbabwe. Zororo Pumulani, powered by doves, the ones you love.
Good afternoon. We are back on Legal Matters, and today we are talking about externalization and money laundering. We are looking at the law on financial crimes, and I am joined in the studio today by Mr. Misheck Ugaro, who is an investment banker and also happens to be the vice president of the Zimbabwean Economic Society. So, Mr. Ugaro, just as a side topic, what exactly does the Zimbabwe Economic Society do? What exactly is it? What exactly is its mandate? What does it seek to achieve? And also, as the vice president, can you just maybe elaborate on what your goals are as the Zimbabwe Economic Society?
Thanks for asking that, Dolani. So the Zimbabwe Economic Society is a grouping of economists.
Okay.
But we have opened it to anyone else, any other profession that are encouraged in influencing the economic discourse of this country.
Yes.
So our brief really is to influence policy, economic policy of the country.
Okay.
So we do research, we do engagements, we engage in dialogue with the authorities.
Yes.
And proffer proposals.
Okay.
In terms of problems that or challenges that economic challenges that the country would be facing.
Yes.
So we interact with the other bodies like the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, the Retailers Association.
Okay.
We interact with the ministries, all government departments.
Okay.
And as vice president, really my role is precisely what I'm doing here to publicize and grow the membership.
Yes.
So the membership is really open to anyone interested in influencing
economic policy.
Yes,
and just to also comment on that, I understand the importance of having such an organization because just on legal matters, we are passionate about explaining how exactly the law is a vehicle for change. So the law also affects economics because, like we're saying, the things that happen in the economy, those acts that people do when they take money out of the country or clean money, are also regulated by the law and they are financial crimes. So in essence, having such an organization is definitely something that should work towards the betterment of the Zimbabwean economy and hopefully society as well.
Correct.
So how do people get in contact with the Zimbabwe Economic Society just before we get into our legal wise segment?
That is fine. We are on Facebook. They just search for Zimbabwe Economic Society. We are on Twitter. They just search for Zimbabwe Economic Society. But they can also directly link with me. The secretariat is directly under myself. So we do the registration of members. And we have a membership fee of $30 per year. It's an annual subscription fee. Then we have a lot of activities. Especially the dialoguing. Last year, I would say in December, we were heavily involved with UNICEF, trying to influence the budget, especially the Minister of Health, in order to take care of child and mother mortality. So we were very impactful. We work with UNICEF, we work with UNIDO, we work with these multilateral organizations. As I said, to influence policy. So those are opportunities for people to come through and make their voices heard through a formal channel such as the Zimbabwe Economic Society. Let me just add that we are, I can't miss this one. We are planning to hold the inaugural winter school, economics winter school. It has never happened in the country. something similar to Davos, but for Zimbabwe, at our level, during winter this year. So we are encouraging people to join the society and then participate.
Okay. Well, definitely watch out for that, and we appreciate such initiatives because Legal Matters is also a bridge. We promote access to support systems, and these support systems, like we're saying, may not entirely be in the law, but then the law regulates each and every aspect. So we are passionate about making sure that people have that access through Legal Matters. So, Mr. Ugaro, jumping into the law on financial crimes, we defined externalization. We have defined money laundering. Now we know what these are. But what we're trying to understand now is the institution that polices these crimes, the Financial Intelligence Unit. I understand it's also relatively new because it's not something that was there ever since the inception of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, but it's something that is coming as a result of the rampant of externalization in Zimbabwe, particularly.
So the institutional framework for managing or controlling both these criminal activities is, as you rightly said, ends at the apex with the FIU, but that is really just at the top. It really starts from the street. So it starts from you and me. And into our banks. And then into the authorities. The FIU is the authority.
Let's begin with the you and me, Mr. Ugaro, because I simply don't see how I can police the externalization of over $400 million.
Definitely you can police yourself, right? You can police yourself. So you'll stop if you were involved in money laundering. So that's the starting point. But more importantly, the next point is when you know someone that is illegally doing these things, you have a right to report.
And that's really quite something topical that you've brought up, Mr. Ugaro, and it ends up in whistleblowing. So what exactly now is the regime with regards to that? Because I understand apparently that there is a reward that you get if you whistleblow. But then are we now saying that people should be policing people who are externalizing for the sake of that reward? Or there are other benefits as well? And also, Mr. Ugaro, the issue of protection after you have blown the whistle.
It's really not really for the reward per se. It's a moral it's a moral responsibility that everybody of us has.
I resonate with that.
Yes. So if you go to, I'll give you an example of a country I've been to where you when you want to travel from one point to another in the city, you just buy a token. There are bicycles. You just buy a token. You go and unhook the bicycle using that token, and you travel to the other corner of the city and you park the bicycle. And nobody asks you, and nobody takes that bicycle home. That's a moral issue. So we do have that moral responsibility, all of us. So we are responsible to each other. We're each other's brother's keeper. So it's not necessarily reward, but the reward is really an incentive to try and encourage whistleblowing.
I agree. I agree on the encouragement from the reward, definitely. And I also resonate with the moral example that you gave. But one thing as well that I would just like us to understand is on the issue of some form of protection after you have blown the whistle. Because like we are saying, if people have the power or if they have the resources to be externalizing these huge amounts of money or whatever amount for that matter, will my personal safety be secured in the event that I whistleblow?
That is critical. Whistleblowing by nature is anonymous. So nobody in theory knows who has said what. So that is a critical aspect of whistleblowing. So you are safe. Because even as we speak, I don't know what you are going to say to who after we leave this. So you are safe from that aspect. But yes, legally you are also protected. I think I can't recall the exact regulation
Yes.
that is there from the central bank.
Yes.
Because as I said, the architecture of stopping or
All these
stemming
kinds.
money laundering and externalization is, so it starts from us to your bank.
Yes.
The bank reports
Yes,
if they
yes.
see any suspicious
Yes. And also,
transactions.
just jumping now on to that responsibility of the bank. The bank, yes, has a responsibility, but now there are the things that may come and sway the day. Things like corruption. And once the bank as an institution is not insulated from things like corruption, can it successfully carry out its mandate or its duty to also alert the relative central bank when there has been an instance of irregular transactions that may in essence just be externalization on paper?
The architecture again is such that the authority must have an oversight.
Okay.
In other words, the central bank.
Okay.
The FIU is part of the central bank. It's a unit
Alright.
inside the central bank. So they have an oversight of
Okay.
what the banks are doing.
All right.
Let me start from the bottom as I had.
Yes,
So it's
yes.
you and me.
Yes.
We open an account.
Yes.
I open an account in a bank. The bank is required to thoroughly know me.
Okay.
They call it Know Your Customer, KYC.
Yes.
So
And also the Money Laundering Act
Yes.
has that in explicit terms. Yes.
So the bank has that responsibility. So if it is that its officials are corrupt and they ignore that,
Yes.
then the authority or the regulator do come and inspect
Yes.
periodically.
Yes.
They go through all these customers
Yes.
and find if the bank really knows its customers.
Okay.
If it doesn't, the authority has a right, according to the relevant act,
Yes.
to penalize
Yes.
the bank for not
Yes.
reporting or not following the
Yes.
rules. I can give you an example for what happened topically
Yes.
very recently.
Yes.
The One Mobile,
Okay.
or more, not one, but let me just broadly say the mobile platform,
Yes.
where money was moving on the
Yes.
mobile platform.
Yes.
But that was outside what the authority could
Yes.
see,
Yes.
and money was created
Yes.
outside the system.
Yes.
And you saw that there were court cases and
Yes.
so
Yes.
the authority was simply saying, who are your customers?
Yes. Yes.
We need to know who
Yes.
those are.
Yes.
So the KYC was not really up to scratch. So
Okay.
the authority had to move like that.
Yes.
So
And I think it's really important that the authority is always alert like that, especially in 2022, a digital age where there are now cryptocurrencies, where there are monies that are being moved online virtually in each and every instant. So really, the authority has to be on the prowl, especially in terms of cyber movement of money.
Correct. That is correct. Working, obviously.
Yes.
We in conjunction with the
Yes.
the institutions that are on the ground.
Yes.
Basically, I'm talking about the banks.
Yes.
So the bank must report any suspicious transaction.
Yes.
And there are limits. That's why the authority sets limits.
Sets limits.
You
yes.
can't transact above a certain amount.
Okay.
But you can if your bank knows you,
Okay.
and your bank is satisfied of the source and the destination of where the money is going. So you
Okay,
can transact
yes.
in any amount.
Yes.
But if it was just a once-off, and they know you always transact $10, $10,
yes.
and then suddenly you transact $1 million, they must be suspicious.
Yes.
So it is their responsibility to raise a flag,
Yes.
talk to you,
Yes.
and also raise a flag to the financial
Yes.
intelligence
And,
unit.
and also one thing I just wanted to understand was the issue of the effects, or rather the punishment that can befall such a financial institution such as a bank when they are complicit or when they do not report these instances of externalization and money laundering. Because we can understand on one hand that being made to pay a fine, especially by such a financial institution, can merely be a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
But the effect or the harm has already been done to the Zimbabwean economy.
Yeah.
So what exactly can we say is the yardstick of punishment that is due for this financial institution?
The ultimate is withdrawal of the banking license.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the regulator really has that hammer.
Okay.
And any banker
Yes.
is so scared of in whatever they're doing.
Yes.
They know the license can be withdrawn.
Okay, and
so that's the ultimate.
Has that happened though in Zimbabwe? Just to get to understand the picture of that deterrent effect.
Now, to my knowledge, no.
Not yet.
I think to my knowledge, but I stand guided.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's clear. As long as there's some form of punishment that can come on the bank as well, if they are complicit in instances of externalization and money laundering, then at least if that final harm is there, we can rest assured that the law can finally save the economy at the end of the day.
Correct.
Yes. With regards to the policing of the financial institutions now, we've been talking about the responsibility of the ordinary citizen, you and me. And then we've talked about the responsibility of the financial institutions, the banks. But then now, let's then look at the overall responsibility of the central bank.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. The central bank carries out inspections.
Okay.
Every bank is inspected.
Okay.
There is actually a very strong division within the central bank, which is the inspections department.
Okay.
It sends officers every year to each bank to inspect their books and their transactions and their customers and their customer information, everything.
Yes.
So the authority has that responsibility.
Yes.
And if the bank is not compliant, you will find that they are penalized according to the level of the
non-compliance.
You will find as a result that there's no bank without what a department called a compliance department.
Yes.
That's a very strong department in any bank.
Yes.
And usually manned by lawyers.
Okay, yes.
I must say. You'll find that usually. I actually can't think of a bank with a compliance officer who is not a lawyer.
Yes. Which Mr. Ugaro, I should thank you for, because it really just shows the importance of having lawyers in these organizations, because people need to comply with the law.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
So all transactions need to comply.
Yes.
All customers banking in, any account opened has to comply with the regulations. Hence you find that this is the main link of between the financial institution and the authority.
Okay. Yes. And just to round up on this segment, on this institution that is responsible for policing these externalization and money laundering crimes, how exactly can people get in touch with the Financial Intelligence Unit? Because like I was saying, Mr. Ugaro, the biggest problem with with the law on financial crimes is it's under-disseminated, it's under-publicized.
Correct.
Most people do not know about it. Most people do not even know how to whistle-blow, yet day in, day out, they are authorizing money laundering and externalizing. So how exactly can people get in touch with the Financial Intelligence Unit?
I think that is a very critical question.
Yes.
There is a hotline, although I'm not sure if it's me who should say it, but the FIU knows. If they are watching, they know. They are not known, and that is a very important point. They need to be known. But I know they have a hotline. Which
they do have a hotline.
Which can be used to give information anonymously. And then they do investigate. That's why they're called an intelligence unit. They investigate.
One thing I would like to understand, Mr. Ugaro, is look, if you think someone has committed a crime, you just walk into the police station. But then I understand from the modus operandi of the Financial Intelligence Unit, you can walk into the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, ask to see the members of the Financial Intelligence Unit, and if they think you have a probable case, they can investigate that case. But still you'll be granted those things that you were saying, which are the protection, in anonymity, and you also get a reward for whistleblowing. Even though I'm not one to encourage people to whistleblow just because of the reward. It
is out of responsibility. It should be more out of responsibility.
I think you could not have said that any better, Mr. Ugaro. The FIU is underknown, and they should really do more to get out there so that people also understand how exactly they can play a role in curbing down these financial crimes.
Yes, correct. That's correct.
So we'll just take another short break on legal matters and come back and round up the show. I am joined with Mr. Misheck Ugaro, an investment banker, the vice president of the Zimbabwe Economic Society, and might I say, an expert on these financial matters. And we are talking about the law on financial crimes. So stay tuned to Heart and Soul Broadcasting Services. We'll be right back after the break.
you like to know when you're about to die? For every jog or walk, you add 1 year to your life expectancy. And for every... Wouldn't you like to know when you're about to die? For every jog or walk, you add 1 year to your life expectancy. And for every cough or sneeze, you subtract 1 year from your life expectancy. You can forget all of that nonsense and join Zororo Pumulani's repatriation and funeral plan from 79 rands per month. And you can get cover of up to 30,000 rands to anywhere in Zimbabwe. Zororo Pumulani, powered by doves, for the ones you love.
Good afternoon. We are back on Legal Matters. Today we are talking about externalization and money laundering, and I am joined with Mr. Misheck Ugaro. We are back from our break, and just as an icebreaker, Mr. Ugaro, one thing I would like to ask is, just on estimate or just from any other report that you may have come across, how much really is lost per year from these crimes in the Zimbabwean economy in numbers? Because I just want people to get to understand the importance of knowing about externalization and money laundering. So how much would you say can be lost from the Zimbabwean economy as a result of externalization and money laundering?
Okay. There are various reports that put estimates of money that has been externalized.
Okay.
And I think the last report I saw, unfortunately, is rather old, like 2019, where an organization was estimating that we were losing something like $4 billion.
$4 billion
to externalization.
Okay.
And even when you look at the list that the president gave out, just that one alone, which was official, had about $1 billion on that list alone. So there's quite a lot. And the real problem is externalization is like stealing from the country. The word says, externalize. You are taking the wealth of the country out.
And just to jump in and thank you over there, Mr. Ugaro, I like the term that you have used. It's exactly like stealing from the country.
Yes.
So each and every Zimbabwean should be aggrieved just because of the crime of externalization.
Correct.
Because now if you are saying over $4 billion is lost per annum just because of this crime, it's something that's definitely causing economic hardships that each and everyone is feeling, even though they are not complicit in this externalization.
Correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
So just to round up the show, Mr. Ugaro, and get people to understand the essence of externalization and money laundering, what exactly would you say is, maybe just as a parting shot, the ultimate connection between these crimes and the economy? Because already, as we have said, for externalization, it's like stealing from the country. And the country of Zimbabwe has suffered enough because of this externalization. So we are trying to encourage more people to come to the front and whistle blow, but we are also trying to get the general person to understand the relationship between these crimes and the economic hardships that they could seemingly feel as a result.
Basically, when you externalize, in simple terms, you're externalizing jobs. That's what it means. It means the factory that was supposed to open here and employ people is now opening in another country. So in very simple terms, you are taking jobs away from here, outside. So if you externalize your wealth and build a hotel outside instead of building that hotel here, you've basically said you are employing people outside instead of here. And so in short, that's basically what it does to the country.
And really, it robs the country of all the natural resources, or all some of the benefits from those natural resources. Because like we're saying, some of this money could have been acquired, legally, but then acquired from the hard-working Zimbabwean people, acquired from the resources that we have here, acquired from the industries that we have here. So if anything, that money should go back into developing the economy.
Correct. That is correct.
And also, just to get to understand another issue as well on the punishment of the people who commit these financial crimes in relation to the economy, because like we were saying, we need to move away from where the law is simply just giving these punishments as a slap on the wrist, because if they're told to pay a sum of money and they're already filthy rich, or if they already have so much money, then in essence it has not done anything to stop future crimes of externalization and money laundering. But ideally it is up to each and every Zimbabwean, like what you were saying.
It is. The good example is the one you used at the beginning, the publication of externalizing suspects.
Yes.
And on the same score, I might as well speak about the current publication by the central bank of organizations that are accessing foreign currency on the auction, but pricing goods using the parallel rate, the so-called double dipping activity. So what it does, it shames the companies that do that. Again, it hinges on morality. You don't want your name to be out there. Everybody knows this is what this company is doing, so you don't want that. So it's moral suasion. It's to try and shame. It's called name and shame. I actually can't recall of any country that publicizes names of organizations that
are externalizing.
Because I think the authorities in Zimbabwe put into a corner, and in a way to try and stop or stem this bleeding of the country, have to appeal to the hearts of these organizations by saying, we are publishing your names. I think the authorities were put in a corner. So I think that is an extreme embarrassment for such organizations. The managements and the boards of those companies are obviously at shame. So it should draw them into line so that they stop doing those activities.
Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Ugaro, and I could not really wish for a better parting shot, unless you have anything else to say with regards to just the ultimate effects of externalization on the economy. But I think for the person who was vested in the show and listening, they've really got to understand how exactly externalization works, how exactly money laundering works, and also just the effect of these things on the Zimbabwean economy. It's not only something that should be policed by the Financial Intelligence Unit, but you as a Zimbabwean citizen have recourse. You can be a whistleblower. You can anonymously curb and stop issues of externalization and money laundering in Zimbabwe. So once again, my name is Tulani Mututa, orator for the law. I am coming to you live from Heart and Soul Broadcasting Services, and we're talking about externalization and money laundering today with Mr. Ugaro, the Vice President of the Zimbabwean Economic Society, an investment banker, and might I add on, an expert when it comes to these money matters. Mr. Ugaro, thank you once again for joining us on Legal Matters. We really hope to watch out for more initiatives and more things that the Zimbabwean Economic Society is going to be doing just for the ultimate betterment of the Zimbabwean economy.
Thanks, Tulani. You're welcome.
Wonderful. So, listeners, stay tuned to Heart and Soul Broadcasting Services, the leading digital station in Zimbabwe, where we communicate for change, where we communicate about change, where we talk about the things that are affecting you daily in your life on legal matters, where the law is ultimately in action. Once again, my name is Tulani Mututa, orator for the law, and we are live on Legal Matters with Mr. Misheck Ugaro. Enjoy the rest of your week and stay legal wise.